The following video will be a meta-analysis of Reddit, two individuals there, evaluating a YouTube channel, and I'm going to do this with a straight face because this isn't an invitation to bullshit. Okay, Reddit knuckleheads aside, we're going to be using this because it's a good example of something I'm trying to warn against, and this is going to be more of a meta joke than a meta-analysis. I was asked a while ago to evaluate a YouTube channel, and I've done it before, and I was asked to do it again by someone. And pro tip, YouTube is now making it impossible for me to search my channel for your comments, even if I know your channel name. Next, I had to dig a lot on both channels to find the commentary to indicate which channel it is. Next, I'm using the meta-analysis for a really good reason, but let's start off with some data here. Satellite images can be for storing, exchange, and sharing in any image type. But what is the file format or data level or quality coming from a satellite, and what is involved in analyzing those images, and what has that got to do with, being 100 miles away from the target, analyzing an image less than 100 feet away on a bridge, on a cell phone? And it doesn't matter how expensive your cell phone or camera is, the device in it is probably $1 unless otherwise noted. Yes, all of you Apple users should feel sad. The type of image you will get that is commonly available varies from TIFF. I'm not going to discuss the origin of what that stands for. JPEG or PNG. But what actually comes from the satellite and is analyzed by, quote, military satellite image analyst people? Or is it just machines mostly? Link to Wikipedia's satellite imagery page and also a common file types list and an archive below. But is that the whole story? What kind of software is used? And does that extrapolate, or does that form of experience translate to analyzing an image off of an iPhone that was dumped on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or all of the above, and or went through software on a computer at the police station? And is this actually a Snapchat picture? Or are these frames from a video that may have been compressed using motion JPEG? Here we go. There's some words I have a hard time pronouncing because I hate some words are based on a language that I hate doing because I can't speak it. Steganography. Uncomfortable word. Steganography. Hiding a file, a sound, an image, anything, text, in a second or as a second part inside of a sound or song or picture or a text file, revealed by viewing it as a spectrogram or removing all but the lowest 2 bits or normalizing the result or running it through a simple filter. That last one is very, very low likelihood. Does your experience analyzing satellite imagery 100 miles away from the target, the subject, really extrapolate to analyzing JPEG-only images that are not original? Again, the only video on my channel about an incident in Delphi, either of my channels, that was, quote, popular, was me pointing out that we do not have access to the raw data. If you're not aware of it, I got to do a deposition, dissertation, whatever you want to call it, about why doing forensic work on Microsoft Word documents or photos through Photoshop using any software with a name brand to it was bad, because every copy of a Microsoft product will take whatever you look at, and whether you enable read or write only or not, it will try very hard to put a Microsoft copyright into it and hide it, and also alter the data ever so slightly to make it almost impossible to remove. Same thing with Adobe products like Photoshop. Same thing with the Apple iPhone you're using, or the Google phone. Now, say it really hard, clicking your heels. Corporations would never do this. This has resulted in absolutely guilty criminals almost but not quite getting away because the image was never in a chain of evidence. The sound file was never perfect copy. Trying to find the Backrooms photo origin story only worked because, quite by accident, in spite of every single website on the planet, that includes Facebook, altering every image. Every time. Just looking at an image with your viewer on your computer might alter it. You have to test the programs, not trust them. And I've never been able to trust Adobe products. Let's move on. I'm referring to a Reddit argument where they both said the same things but spun it in positive and negative light. About a YouTube channel started in 2022 that currently has 70 vids, but as of Christmas 2023, most of the vids were either set private or deleted or altered, or set private, altered, and then made visible again. This is after 2 years of it existing and having only 3,000 subscribers. Is this enough to evaluate the intentions of the uploader? Not that the YouTube purge was going on. Not that there are extenuating circumstances. No. The channel also in question has a number on it that seems cryptic, or, dare I say, a cipher. 50/3121. Now, when you look that up exactly that way and variations of it, you run into the most likely candidate for what this person's saying. The person's not saying something overtly, they're being covert, which people seem to enjoy. I detest it because it makes it impossible to tell what people's intentions are. It leads to a law concerning if a person has access to classified information, whether they're supposed to or not, and is able to be shown, proven, or is strongly indicated, that's very vague, to have a pattern of activities that are intended to identify covert agents. The wording of this is deliberately made as vague as possible. 3-year prison sentence, $15,000 fine. A, if I out this YouTube channel as being a real agent, which they may or may not be claiming to be, am I in trouble? Flip side, did the YouTube channel accidentally really out themselves as really an agent and have to start deleting stuff because the government doesn't mean that you getting outed as a covert agent is something that's only somebody else's fault. Maybe you're at fault. Maybe they're going to put you in jail for 3 years because you loose-lipped, because you got drunk at a bar. Okay, so that aside, and the false dichotomy of pro and con must be expressed, even though one of them is obviously stupid. The Reddit posting that I'm using as a reference will be listed down below with the word Reddit next to it. Has people saying basically the same thing, but saying it's bad or good. Just like the example I gave, someone heavily editing their web page or YouTube channel so they don't go to prison or so they don't get flagged again by YouTube. Either way, do we judge it? It looks kind of shifty or shady or not. I had a YouTube channel that had a bunch of stuff on it where I talked freely about my life. I had to edit or remove a lot of that because someone decided to threaten me by threatening my family. Is that me being sneaky or covert? Yeah. Is it justified? I would say so. Not going to prison for 3 years because you accidentally outed yourself. Or is the person lying about what they are? Again, we don't know. Now, am I saying that I agree with this? That these assertions I'm making are real? No, this is the Reddit argument. I'm just distilling it. Remember, I'm taking two completely different views or perspectives of the same subject matter that happened to be by accident, truly it was an accident, discussing the same subject matter and telling me what the actual subject matter probably was. The YouTube channel, 70 videos now, took a bunch of them down or not. Evaluated by Reddit. Their claim on Reddit is that the channel claims to be an ex-federal law enforcement agent ex-military intelligence, and or ex-satellite photo imagery analyst. See also links about imagery and file formats. Is that the same? Is that relevant past experience for analyzing a JPEG 100 foot away subject matter that's 4 or 5 generations deep now? Do any of you know where the earliest version of this was? Was it on Instagram or Snapchat? Let's move on. Was it really just a photo? Was it a video? I'm not answering, I'm asking. Because you should think about this. This person used Photoshop filters, edge finders, and embossing filters to prove the origins of the image from the bridge. The bridge guy in Libby on the Bridge Snapchat JPEG photo. JPEGs are made out of nothing but anomalies. Getting a second generation will cause them. If you find something covert or hidden, it's probably the image editor program or the website it was uploaded to, or maybe the server it went through, or the program that originally generated it on the camera. Saying it contains obvious problems and cyphers in the image. You don't say. I'm being snarky and sarcastic for a reason. That's snarkastic. Deliberate clues were left in there. People love that deliberate clue-like thing because people who do this sort of thing, oh, well, the bad guy always leaves clues. What? No, they don't. Deliberate clues to help you discern it's a fake. So, what do we extrapolate from this? It's a fake image? No, but okay. What would you choose? Well, the claim about the YouTube channel. We can extrapolate the family members and friends have to have planted cryptic clues to their involvement in this. And therefore, because they're doing it, it must be a cover-up. And therefore, it must be that the Abby Snapchat photo is the only proof being the girls crossing the bridge. Why would you assume that? But since we now can assume that it's wrong because anomalies, the girls never crossed the bridge. Why is this significant? So the only rational thing to do is to conclude the girls were abducted the day before. A scripted story was concocted. The girls were dropped off at the bridge the next day, or what? And this was done under advisement and threats and blackmail by local and federal law enforcement because cops always corrupting somehow, and or caused by panic and embarrassment. Therefore, they left cryptic clues in an image somehow that was... There was a staged initial search and invention and dropping off of new fake evidence. All from you noticing JPEGs have really shitty anomalies in them that do not match what you think. Or, stay with me, differing statements at differing times in a case with virtually no evidence available in ignorance by law enforcement and witnesses alike, all while the public is scrutinizing everything you say and do because we're a very open society. I don't know anything about analyzing photos or the software that is used to accomplish this. I have a huge amount of experience analyzing exclusively almost JPEGs, which I hate with a purple passion, for UFO photos all the way down to ordinary stuff. If you want a video series on how to test whether or not your methods work, fine, but basics are none of the things I've seen so far about the YouTube channel nor from them show that they're doing this correctly because they have non-relevant experience in one area and they're using literal Photoshop that alters images while you're working on them and other programs like that. Pro tip. If you're going to scan a birth certificate, don't let an Apple product fuck with it and cause a bunch of anomalies in it, especially if your name is Barack Obama. That's literally what happened. We're years enough down the road, you can understand that, right? It was literally a piece of software in Harvard that did it. Because corporations do that, trying to stamp it with, copyright Apple and that sort of thing. That's the kind of thing that happens here. My evaluation. If anybody wants me to evaluate the channel, I'd have to have access to all the original content, if it's up or not. Or specific URLs. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.